going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat Podcast.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are back once again with another edition of Tru Heel Heat Check, episode 26. Bam 83. We're going to be discussing the big news of the NBA week as the modern scoring record has been broken. Plus, of course, we got another list and much more to discuss from the NBA world. Of course, as usual, to do that, we are joined as always by the number one Knicks enthusiast himself, Chris G. How are you feeling?
Not bad. It's been a fun week of basketball. A lot of low key good games other than Bam. We've been getting a lot of good games from some guys, so it's been some good basketball to watch. But yeah, the Bam 83, man, that's what we're here to talk about.
But we got a special guest to talk about it. This one I'm very excited to have on the podcast this week. He is a former guard for the Mercy University Mavericks, former guard for Bishop Lachlan Lions, and of course, his greatest achievement being my nephew. He's the one and only Taj Childs. How you doing, Taj?
I'm doing good, Uncle Man. I really appreciate you, giving me this opportunity to be on the podcast with y'all. And I have a lot of stuff I want to talk about with the NBA that I don't get to tell everybody. So now I get to use your platform to tell everybody my thoughts and my ideas.
And you've been dabbling into the streaming world. Before we get into everything, let the people know like what you've been doing. You got Twitch channel, and you'll be on there probably as much or even more than me be on YouTube. You'll be on the Twitch channel. So let the people know. Give you the floor.
So I just started streaming probably about a month ago. Accumulated 110 followers and about 30 subscribers on Twitch. I do a little bit of everything. I react to basketball games, NBA and college. I react to, YouTube videos. Drewski has a love show that's out, just some funny things to keep the chat interested. But I also do play a lot of games. My uncle knows he's put me on the game since I was a child. So I really enjoy playing story mode games and things of that nature. So I do games like that as well on my channel. So the Twitch is Automatic TC, Automatic, and then the letters TC, my initials for my name. So, if ever I have some free time, try to stream about 4 to 5 times a week. And especially a lot on the weekends when I have more free time. So, if anybody wants to tune into that, I would love y'all come in, just, have some fun with me.
Yes, go and support that. We're going to put it in the description so you guys can go and support Automatic TC over on Twitch. But we got some stuff to discuss from the NBA world. And without further ado, y'all know what to do. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all of your NBA family, friends, and fans. And of course, hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here at Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment, where we got Tru Heel Heat Check talking about the NBA. We got our Scream reviews for all the Screams, as well as our Scream ranking that went up this week. We got Clocking In talking about the Pit. We got the NFL podcast, True Offseason, and much, much more. But without further ado, we got a lot to discuss. So sound off in the live chat, sound off in the comments down below, and let us know what you think, most of all, about Bam Adebayo. Of all the players in the NBA, Bam Adebayo, one of the best two-way players, one of the best centers in the NBA today, but nobody and their mama could have predicted at the beginning of the season that Bam Adebayo would score even 60 points, let alone 70 points, but as well as breaking the modern scoring record after 20 years. Back in January 2006, Kobe Bryant set the record, the second most points in a single NBA game by a single player with 81, and Bam broke it earlier this week on March 10th, 2026. Bam Adebayo dropping 83 points for the Miami Heat against the Washington Wizards. He did it on 20 of 43 from the field. So he's the first player in NBA history, I believe, to score 70 points without 50% shooting. And he set the record with 43 free throw attempts. 36 of them he made, also an NBA record for a single game. Like I said before, we got different opinions here. If y'all wanted my initial reaction, I made a short for it. Thank you to Chris G for putting that together. That's up on the channel. But we'll start with our special guest. Taj, what was your reaction? Were you watching it live? How did you find out about it? And what's your kind of a few days later after you've been able to let it marinate for a bit? How do you feel about Bam setting the record, 83 points bypassed the record for the Miami Heat? He dropped 62 in 3 quarters, which was already the record for the Miami Heat, and then passing Kobe with 83. What's your reaction?
Well, first off, my uncle knows I'm a very avid bettor. So one thing that I did bet on was Bam's point against the Wizards because they are tanking very badly. So I knew that he was gonna have a good game. But I'm in a lot of group chats. You talk about a lot of basketball, and everybody's just like spamming my phone because I actually wasn't watching that game. I try not to watch tanking teams because I know the game's gonna be over with pretty early. Try to watch the better games. And everybody's like, Bam has 31 in the first quarter. I'm like, damn, like. That can't be right. So I go check my phone. He had 31 in the first quarter. And obviously I knew he's going to have a pretty good game, but I'm thinking, the Heat are going to blow this team out. So he won't play the end of the game. So probably finish about 40 or 50. But then I just keep looking. It's like 40, 50, 60. I'm like, wait. Then it's the fourth quarter and he's still in the game. I'm like, they're not about to do this, right? But if there is one coach in the NBA that will allow some ridiculous stuff like that to happen, it is Eric Spoelstra. He will sit there and allow any of his homegrown players to, be able to break a record. And I think that's probably one of the, maybe I've been alive for a decent amount of time. The first time that multiple records have been broken in a single game. He broke the Heat single game scoring record, a free throw record, Kobe's record. It's like, I was just sitting there like, this just can't be true. And I told my uncle this. I also told my cousin this. I'm not telling my children that Bam Adebayo has the second highest scoring game. That's just not something that's going to come out of my mouth. Kobe Bryant will always have that for me. Also, I'm a younger kid. We grew up with AI. I'm going to tell my child when they see that, that's AI. That's not true. It didn't happen. All those records of it is not true. But kudos to Bam, though. I can find an appreciation for it because if I was in that situation, I would go for the record as well. It's like I can't be upset at a basketball player who puts his hard work and effort every single day in the gym, working hard to not go for a record like that, to be stamped in the NBA record books forever. Can't be upset about that. Now, the way he did it with 43 free throws, I can be upset about that because I did end up watching probably when he had around 75, 76 and watching the end. And to me, it seemed like the refs was a little bit in on it too because they were calling some very questionable calls to give him some free throws at the end of the game. But at the end of the day, it just goes to show how different the NBA is now. Like back in the day, scoring 30 points was amazing, and now it's 50 and 60. It's not every day, but it's more natural. People aren't shocked when a guy of Luka's caliber or Kevin Durant or SGA scores 50 points or like, that's just them having a good game. So it definitely piques my interest that maybe we could see a 100-point game before, in the next 20 years. If Bam could get 83, he's not even a top 25 scorer, top 30 scorer in the NBA. So there's definitely a guy that maybe be able to pass that.
Yeah, it does answer the question of like anything is possible in the NBA on any given night. This isn't March basketball where it doesn't have the best basketball usually, and we get something like this. So, Chris, you're a little bit less biased than us. You got Todd. You said he's not even going to tell his kids that this happened, and he saw history, and he's not even going to believe it. What was your reaction to Bam's 83?
I just want to start off by saying every negative assault towards this performance has been from a Kobe Bryant fan. every down person I've seen on this performance is a Kobe fan, and it's funny. Like I get it. I'm not even mad at it, right? Yeah. First initial reaction is Bam. Fucking Bam Adebayo. Like I will tell my kids, but like it's gonna come with that. Like who is the second leading scorer? Bam Adebayo. Like it's not like, oh yeah, Kobe dropped 81. It was like fucking Bam dropped 83. Yeah, I mean, but you can't fault the performance. Going for a record like that. Listen, you get it how you get it, right? I could understand people being mad at the free throws. Me personally, I'm not mad at it because as a person, as a bowler, listen, I wasn't the greatest basketball player, but I've been in leagues, I've played in games where I've scored a high number of points. You hit that 30, 35 point mark. I've hit 40, 45 in a game, and it's like you want to just keep chucking up shots and try to score as much as you want, Now, if you're doing this at the highest level for the NBA and you have a shot to surpass one of the greatest of all time, you're going to go for it. So you can't be mad at Bam for trying to put the effort in and having an efficient 83-point game because he missed like his last 8 shots and still shot 52% for the game. Like it's crazy.
47%.
Well, he was at like 53 before he missed those fucking 7
He
shots.
He didn't make a field goal for 9 minutes, Chris.
He was tired. He was tired.
He couldn't jump over a paper clip, Chris, in the fourth quarter.
He was trying to put up threes over 3 people, and he had no legs. Like his ankles, basically, he was like doing bunny hops on his shots.
As someone that's have defenses, game plan for me, it does get very tiring getting chased around by 2-3 people as he did for the fourth quarter. So I could cut him some slack for missing 9 shots in a row.
Too. He's not a guard, like he don't got the stamina like of a smaller guard, like a De'Aaron Fox who could run around the court for 50 minutes at full speed. You know what I mean? He's gonna tire out. Now the free throws, it goes a little bit on the ref, right? The refs are calling some bullshit towards the end to try to pad that, and that's on them. You can't really fault Bam for playing to that. Can't fault Eric Spoelstra for being like, hey, one of my guys is about to break a record. I'm going to keep him out there. Like he said in the press conference, I apologize to no one. I would do that 100 times over. And as he should, he's one of the greatest coaches out there. So am I mad at the performance? No, I did not see it live. I kept tabs on it. I checked IG. I seen he had 30 in the first quarter. I was like, he's going in this game. It's going to be a nice 40, 50, game and point performance. Then I seen he had 43 at halftime. And I was like, I was like, let's see how he progresses through the third quarter and see what he got. Then he had 60, and I'm like, he's gonna go for 80. And if he gets to 70 within like 8 minutes left of the game, he's gonna go for 80. And sure enough, I check, it's like 8 minutes left of the game, he got 73 points. So I figured he was gonna go for it, just kind of screen watch from there and seen him hit the free throws, and good for him. There's going to be an asterisk there for sure, but it's good for him.
I wasn't even bad mouthing, this whole performance. Like I said, I've said it multiple times on multiple platforms. I respect Bam for going for it. He was hot. Like his first 3 quarters, I can't deny, like 62 points in 3 quarters. I haven't seen that since Kobe. Kobe's the last person who really did that anyway. And he sat out the fourth quarter because the game was at hand. Yes, Bam could have sat out in the fourth quarter because this game was at hand. They were up by 25 going into the fourth quarter, but like you said, if you're hot, you stay out there. It just became ridiculous in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter was some of the most embarrassing basketball I've seen. I woke up because I'm 4 or 5 hours ahead of y'all in the States, in New York. So in the UK, I'm 4 or 5 hours ahead, and I just get message upon message from like Jeremy on In the Weeds. I was supposed to have Wednesday off, and Jeremy like sends me all caps like SP3, you need to be on In the Weeds. We got to talk basketball. I'm like, what's going on here? Then I see the thumbnail for In the Weeds is it says the headline says major Heat victory over NXT. Instead of talking about NXT, we're going to talk about basketball. And our co-host, who's not a basketball fan, just to make it seem like we're going to talk about wrestling, put the Heat logo and Bam Bam Bigelow on the thumbnail.
That's funny.
So
that's a good one.
so I'm like, what the hell happened? So I look at the box scores and I'm like, wait, what? Wait, 43 field goals, 43 free throws, 83 points. So I watched the highlights first of everything, and I was like, this is not going to do justice for it. So let me watch the fourth quarter. So I found the stream, I put on the fourth quarter, and this was some of the most embarrassing basketball I think I've ever seen. It was ridiculous. It was highly preposterous why the Heat are fouling the Wizards when they're up by 30 points. Why Eric Spoelstra is challenging a charge when Bam did not commit a charge on one person. He did it on two people, and they're challenging it. This didn't make any sense. Like, I was just like, all respect to Bam, but the person at fault to me, the person who I'm pointing my finger at, Eric Spoelstra is a basketball terrorist.
God.
He's a basketball terrorist. What he was doing to the game that I love in this fourth quarter was freaking embarrassing in every sense of the word. This was embarrassing to basketball. It was embarrassing to his legacy as a coach, because he is one of the best coaches out there. But I am doing a petition.org to get him removed, to get him impeached as a coach in the NBA.
No respect for Spoelstra.
This is embarrassing. What are we doing?
Blame the Wizards and their fucking coaching.
They get the second most blame because they didn't double this guy until he had 74. They're doing single coverage, and the dude has 62 going into the fourth quarter, and you're doing single coverage.
They are actively tanking. I saw a highlight from last night where Bilal Coulibaly made a three off the backboard to tie the game to go to overtime, and everybody on the bench was shocked. They were like, you're not supposed to make that. Like, what are you doing? You know, so I can't. It's like, can you blame the Wizards? Obviously, but I definitely agree that the main culprit here is Eric Spoelstra. I don't think I've played basketball for a pretty long time. I've never intentionally fouled up by 30 for any reason, unless it was to get somebody out the game, like for subs. Never to get the ball back so that a guy can shoot some more free throws. Like, that is crazy.
I've never seen that, but you know, he did it for his guy. You know, that's a coach that, you know, I want as a player. That's the coach I want on my team. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, but as a basketball fan,
fuck him.
it was just sickening to watch. Like if I was in Bam's position, absolutely, I would want my coach to do that. But as a fan of the NBA, it was sickening to watch. I'm watching rookies score 10 points because they're shooting 10 free throws because they get fouled every play while the Heat are up by 40. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and you got to ask the question, because you brought it up, Taj, that, you know, with Bam being able to do this, I think if you did like a draft of like 100 you have 100 picks. I don't know the NBA fan that would put Bam Adebayo at the beginning of this season as the guy who's going to score over 70 points this year. Yeah. His previous career high was 41. He doubled his career high in this one game. Like it's shocking, but it does beg the question: when do y'all think this is gonna happen again? When do y'all think we're gonna get another 80-point game? And who would you say is like the players that could potentially get that hot and go for 80? We'll start with you, Todd.
Well, as a biased fan, obviously I'm gonna say Luka Doncic. Also because he's also had a 70-point game already in his career. So
on 76% shooting.
Yeah. The thing about Luka, and I always say it's a gift and a curse for him. He shoots a lot of difficult shots, but he makes a lot of difficult shots. If he's hot from three, like even last night, I think he shot 9 for 14 from three. And games like that, when he's hot from three, with how many times he gets to the free throw line and how well he finishes for an unathletic guy, he can score that many points very effortlessly. I also think that Luka's also one of the most unselfish players in the NBA as a playmaker. You know, if he sees three bodies, he's gonna pass the ball. But in games where Luka sees single coverage, it gets really bad for the other team. Like, teams don't show him bodies, he's gonna get 40. So I definitely am gonna put him up there. The only reason I I don't think SGA will get there is because I think if he's ever scoring 70 points, they're going to be blowing them out, and his coach is not going to sit here and keep him in the game, you know. But I definitely can see it being Luka. SGA definitely has a chance. I think the person that would definitely also have a chance is Anthony Edwards. He has motivation for everything. If he sees 60 points on that box score in the fourth quarter, he will do everything in his power to try to go get that 81. And even if he could get 90 on a ridiculous game. But those will probably be my top three guys. Obviously people are gonna say Wemby, but I was just having a conversation with my group chat about this earlier. You know, like in order for Wemby to be able to play in the playoffs, you can't play him 35 minutes a game during the regular season. So I just don't think he'll have enough time to do it. But my top three would probably be Luka, SGA, and Ant. Those would be my three guys that I think will, if they ever do eclipse that, because scoring 83 points isn't easy, I think those three guys would be the guys I picked.
What about you, Chris?
Yeah, if I had to pick a top three, I'd say the third person would definitely be Ant-Man, just because he got the heart for it, he got the aggression, and he got the overall skill set. So if he's hot from three, you know, he can definitely get close at least. Luka, we've already seen put up those type of numbers, but like he put up 51 yesterday or something like that.
Yeah.
But it comes down to him being hot from three, right? If he hits 13, 14 threes in the game, he's going to go for 80 points because he'll get to the free throw line 20 times and he'll hit a couple mid ranges and floaters. And, you know, all he needs is single coverage. Like Tosh said, that's all he needs is single coverage. I do, though, think that the most potential would come out of Wemby. I don't think it's not yet. You know, I would say like maybe 3-4 years when his body develops a little bit more and, you know, he works on his stamina, his strength. He can shoot the ball very well. He shoots better than Bam, right? So if he could have a performance like Bam set the, I guess, the blueprint for how to get 80 or above, right, for a big man. You got to get to the free throw line a lot, and you got to be able to hit threes, which Wemby can do. So I think given, you know, if he's hot against the right team and he's getting fouled, I think Wemby could do it too.
I'm going to throw one that probably not a lot of people will talk about or
please
think
say Jalen Brunson. Please say Jalen Brunson, because he was going to be my honorable mention.
He's the best shot creator out there. I'll give him credit.
60 on 6 free throws. Man, he got to the line 15, 20 times. We don't know what could have happened. And it was against the Spurs. It's not a bad team.
Yeah. Like, I'll give him credit. I'll give him some love. I would say though, the out there, the dark horse for me, Con Knipple. Because if he could get hot from three and shoot, I think, and he has the team where if it's a game where Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball is not playing, he could get hot from three. Because that was the whole instance with Bam. Bam didn't have his two other all-star type players with Hero and Powell being out that game. If he has a situation like that and he's facing a team like the Wizards or the Pelicans or something like that, I think that Con Knipple in like a year or maybe even 2, he could do that. He could get hot from three and deliver that type of game.
He's hitting 23s. I can see it, honestly.
Nah, his jump shot is beautiful. Like,
automatic.
Every time he shoots, I think it's going in the basket. So I can definitely see that.
Yeah. So, like you said, it's been a crazy week for the NBA where records was made with the Bam game, but another record went down. We're recording this on Friday. You'll probably be seeing this on Saturday, but last night we had what a lot of people are calling an NBA Finals preview. I know one person on the panel disagrees with that, but the Oklahoma City Thunder faced the Boston Celtics. Oklahoma City pulling out the win by 2, but the big story was SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, dropping 35 points and setting the record for most consecutive 20-point games in NBA history, a record that not many people thought would ever be broken by Wilt Chamberlain, who did it for 126 straight games, and SGA accomplished it with 127 straight games of 20 points or more, leading the Thunder to a victory over the Boston Celtics. What what have you thought about this record being broken, first of all, by Shea? Do you think that Shea has kind of sealed up? A lot of people, that's been the talk this week. SGA with the performance against the Nuggets on Monday, getting the game winner against them, that he has pretty much sold up the NBA MVP award. What do you think about that talk with SGA and the victory, as well as the record for him with the 20-point game, Staj?
Well, my uncle knows, and I will admit, I used to be a very avid SGA hater. I used to call him a free throw merchant, all of that. But as I've gotten older, just with anybody, you know, I can respect greatness, and what SGA has been doing is nothing short of, you know, amazing. He's also, his efficiency is what really always has caught my eye. Like, is he shooting a lot of shots and free throws? Absolutely, but you have to make those shots. He's not shooting wide open. You know, he's getting the other team's best defender every game, seeing double teams. He's making a lot of difficult twos, which people analytics would say are very bad shots. So what he's doing is nothing short of amazing. And it was a record that I never thought would ever be broken. You know, like, once I seen people like Luka and LeBron and Kevin Durant not scoring 20 points in a game, it's like SGA is gonna not get 21 of these games, and he just kept getting it done. But I definitely think I think the Nuggets game, even if he didn't perform last night, I think that Nuggets game more than sealed up the MVP case for me, because to me it's always been a two horse race really with Jokic and SGA. There's been a lot of people that have been having amazing seasons, like Jaylen Brown, Cade, you know, Luka, obviously, but I always feel like it's a two horse race between those two, and the fact that SGA not only hit a dagger three with the Nuggets coming back and tying the game up and then hitting the game winner, I was like, that was like my MVP moment for me. But I do also think that the MVP race is, I wouldn't say is losing its worth, but I feel like these voters in the media aren't giving enough credit to the other guys besides the SGAs and the Jokic. Like, my uncle can tell you, I used to think Jaylen Brown was one of the worst stars in the NBA. I thought he couldn't go left. I hated his offensive game. I hated watching him. Like, it was just disgusting, especially as a Knicks fan watching that series last year. I'm like, Mikhail and OG have this kid in jail. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. But I said I was the main person saying him as a number one option. I don't know how the Celtics are gonna do. He 100% proved me wrong. He's been amazing this year. You know, he's improved his game at all levels. He's improved as a playmaker. He's always been a good defender, but he's scoring efficiently. You know, I think he should be getting way more love in MVP race, because nobody thought a number one option Jaylen Brown would have the Celtics as the number 2 seed in the East. Another person I feel like doesn't get love because we're used to his greatness is Luka. I feel like that year that 2024 season when they went to the finals, I was an avid person that he should have won MVP that year, because if he's not on that team, especially with Kyrie being hurt, the games that he was hurt, the Mavs are a lottery team. I mean, I just think that's like pretty well. And now I said to a lot of people, I said he averaged 33, 9, and 10 and didn't win MVP. I don't think Luka's going to have a better season than that. So if he didn't win it that year, he's never going to win it in his career. And somehow these media outlets keep pricking him preseason MVP. And I'm just like, all he's going to do is average that same 33, 9, and 10, and it's just not going to be appreciated. Like, and that's basically what he's doing. He's averaging like 33, 8, and 9. It's like, and the Lakers are now the third seed in the West. You know, I feel like these voters are just like, you know, SGA is doing the same thing that we just gave him MVP for last year, so we can't not give it to him again. Or those years Jokic was doing it. Jokic is averaging another 30-point triple-doubles, and we just gave it to him last year. We can't not give it to him again. So I feel like they're not doing justice with these MVP awards. They're just, you know, recycling and reusing the same stars who are amazing. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but I think that it's become more so just a SGA Jokic race every year instead of the most valuable player. I think there's players in the NBA that have more value this season than those two guys, you know, because what I've learned, those games that SGA was out, the Thunder were still winning games. Everybody says the Thunder has one of the deepest teams in the NBA. You know, I'm not going to say that they're the number one team in the West without SGA. That's a ridiculous statement, but are they still a good basketball team? Absolutely. The Nuggets fully healthy without Jokic is still a pretty decent basketball team. Jamal Murray's been playing amazing. Aaron Gordon started the season off very hot. Peyton Watson is one of the most improved players in the NBA. When Luka doesn't play for the Lakers and LeBron's running your offense, they look really bad. Very, very bad. When Jaylen Brown doesn't play for the Celtics and Jason Tatum's hurt, Derek White first option basketball is filthy.
No. I actually did the numbers breakdown with that. Oh, the Celtics are actually they have the best role players in the NBA.
Absolutely.
They are no, but the numbers like support it. They are plus 16 without Jaylen Brown on the court.
That's
Plus
ridiculous.
16. That's
So then-
ridiculous. Like that's
I
and
retract
think
my
that's-
statement.
Yeah, that's the thing that hurts Jaylen Brown is that they are like, I think they're like 6-1 without him when he doesn't play. They're 6-1.
Joe Mazzulla effect.
Joe. That's
I'm gonna choke you out if you don't play your role.
we literally
Hey,
had
Richard,
this
fucking,
debate.
you better drop
on-
30.
We had this debate on In the Weeds earlier this week, and I looked it up, and I was like, oh my god! I was like, this supports my whole theory is that Jaylen Brown will be like a top 5 MVP candidate, but Joe Mazzulla is a lock for Coach of the Year. This is like
absolutely.
This
I don't want to see anybody else get it.
virtuoso performance. Yeah.
Only other person that has a case in my eyes would be Mitch Johnson because the Spurs did get the 4th pick in the draft and now they have the 2nd best record. But what Joe Mazzulla has done with that team, like they're starting a different rookie every week, and they're somehow walking away with a double and guarding the other team's best player. I don't
Superstar Hugo Gonzalez.
Baylor Sireman 13-10 against the Knicks and the Garden. I'm like, on my birthday. I'm like, what is going on here today? He's over here. He has 15 rebounds. I'm like, who's this? Yeah. But back to SGA, man, it's just amazing what he's doing and how he's been able to build this Thunder team to what they are now. You know, because like they took a risk on him. I thought he was an amazing player on the Clippers, but I never thought he would get to this. I'll be honest. 32 a game, being a consensus top 1 player in the NBA. So it's definitely amazing what he's been able to do.
What did you think about the record for SGA, Chris G? And do you also agree that he's locked up MVP this year?
You know, it's crazy because it was 127 games?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
If you think about it, realistically, it's a season and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
And with the NBA landscape, with so many guys who score 20 a game, 25 a game, you would think this record would have been broken already, right? So it's just crazy to show you how you could average 25 a game. That means, you know, you might have 31 game, you might have 15 the next type shit. So it's just, when I seen the number itself, I was like, wow, I thought this streak would have been, you know, a little longer. But it shows you how difficult it is to keep that type of consistency in the NBA. And you talk about SGA's consistency, which is probably his main attribute. He's just such a consistent player from top to bottom on both ends of the court. I personally, I mean, to Taj's point, the media loved SGA, so he's probably going to get it again. I personally would still put more eggs in the Cade Cunningham basket just because of how, like, he's quietly led the Pistons to be a powerhouse in the Eastern Conference. And you could even make an argument for Jaylen Brown for the way he's led the Celtics to the 2nd seed. And of course, Luka is going to put up video game numbers, so why shouldn't he be in the conversation, right? But yeah, I mean, he has these big performances against the big teams on the big stage. So I guess that kind of solidifies why he should be MVP.
Yeah, and just looking at this record, the top 4 is Oscar Robinson, who did it from 1963 to 1964. He did 79 straight games. Wilt Chamberlain did it twice, where he went from 1963 to 1964, 92 straight games of 20 points or more. Then from 1961 to 1963, he did 126 straight games of 20 points or more. And now finally, what is this? 60 years later, SGA does it from 2024 to 2026. Amazing. Amazing. But with all of that, SGA locking up the MVP award, someone on our panel doesn't believe the Thunder are the favorites to win the NBA championship. Taj, you said you had a hot take when it comes to who you think is going to win the NBA championship. So the floor is yours. Who do you think should be the favorite?
I absolutely do have a hot take. My pick this year as the San Antonio Spurs. I do believe my original pick preseason was definitely the Nuggets. I just think with all their injuries, I don't know if they'll be healthy enough in time to get there. But as my uncle forgot to tell you, Chris, the reason why I was not very high on the Thunder last year is because I thought that the Mavericks were preseason, because he was very adamant on them before the season started. I was a very big Mavericks fan before the season started because I thought that they built Luka and Kyrie a perfect team to beat the Thunder after they already just beat them last year. I think that the Thunder's biggest problem is that their role players shooting wise aren't consistent in the playoffs. Now, adding Jared McCain has been a very big gift for them. And I also think AJ Mitchell is probably one of the best bench players in the NBA. He's amazing to me. I think he's a very good basketball player. So that has definitely bolstered my uncle's part. But I do think that the one team that can guard the Thunder are the Spurs. I've been fascinated to watch Stephon Castle as an on-ball defender this year. I think to me, he's the number one. Obviously, they're probably going to say the guys that have already proven themselves, Amen Thompson, Lou Dort, guys of that nature. But what Stephon Castle's been able to do I watched one game he guarded SGA, and then they played the Rockets next game, and he's guarding Kevin Durant. He's only about 6'4", 6'5", and he made life very difficult for Kevin Durant that day. But I just think that the only team depth-wise, top to bottom, that can match the Thunder are the Spurs, because the guys that the Spurs have in those roles of the Lou Dort, who I think stinks. I think he's a very bad basketball player. And the Lou Dorts of the world and the Case and Wallaces, I think that the Spurs role players that they have in those roles are better. They're better shooters. They're better offensive players, while also giving similar or even better defenses in some cases. So I just think that the only way that the Spurs will not win the chip is if they get a Nuggets matchup in the playoffs. I just think that they can't fuck with Jokic. Sorry, excuse my language. They can't mess with Jokic. I think that Wemby is an amazing defender, but there's two people that fry him every time they play: Jokic and Joel Embiid. A talented offensive big men give Wemby a difficult time, and that's just because they're talented offensive big men. They're some of the best offensive talents in the league. But if the Spurs get like a Lakers matchup and then or a Rockets matchup first round, a Lakers matchup second round, or a Timberwolves, and then they play the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals, I definitely can see them making it to the finals. I just think that Stephon Castle's ascension has been amazing. D Fox is getting his rhythm back. Wemby is everything that I thought he would be coming into the NBA. Keldon Johnson's been amazing for them. Dylan Harper has been amazing for them. I played basketball with Julian Champagne, and I knew he was going to be a good pro, but I did not think he was going to be this good of a pro on a number 2 seed in the West. You know, like, he's been amazing for them. His floor spacing helps Wemby so much. Like, if he's in the corner, you can't double team off that guy shooting 38% from 3 on a lot of shots a game. I just think that their team top to bottom is just a very good, well-balanced team, and they defend very well. And I used to be a big guy on offense wins championships, but these past couple years, defense has definitely won championships. If you can get stops in the playoffs, they're NBA talent players. You're going to be able to score the ball eventually. You have to stop the other team from scoring. And the Spurs defense, when they're playing their best basketball, to me is one of the best defenses I've seen in a pretty long time.
All right. What do you think, Chris, about this prediction for the Spurs?
I mean, if there's going to be any team that's going to take out OKC, it's going to be the Spurs. It's they got the kryptonite. They're the kryptonite. We've seen it all throughout the regular season for the most part. I don't trust Denver's health at all going into the playoffs. So I think they're either going to avoid that matchup or they'll see a hurt Denver team, and Spurs will be able to get to that next level. But I also don't see 100% healthy Thunder team. Honestly, I think J-Dub's not going into the playoffs 100%. SGA hasn't been super hurt, but he's been a little banged up, so you kind of got to monitor him too. Mm-hmm. The Lou Dorts of the world, you're going to start to see their flaws a little bit. So I agree. I think the Spurs are a very deep team from top to bottom. They play together. They have an identity. And it should be an exciting matchup. It's the Western Conference. This is the Western Conference Finals that should be the finals, right? Everybody wants to see this matchup more than whoever comes out the East versus, maybe not now with the Celtics and Jason Tatum back. That makes for some exciting basketball, and you never know what happens in the East. But this is the matchup everybody wants to see. They want to see OKC versus the Spurs. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I tell my uncle all the time, the formula to beat the Thunder, you have to have a ball dominant guard. I wouldn't say Fox is super Bowl dominant, but he's a good guard. You got to have wings that can guard SGA and J-Dub, and you have to have an interior lob threat. It's because their defense is so physical that you have to be able to get over the top of Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein. And I think that the Spurs have that mold, and I think that's why the Mavs beat them that one year.
The only thing that's against y'all prediction or y'all thinking the Spurs are going to beat the Thunder is that they still got molasses on their breath. They babies, y'all. They babies. They
are.
OKC from 2 years ago. That's what they really are. They are 1 or 2 years away. If you told me this is your prediction for next season, I'd be like, you know what? You're probably right because they've been so impressive, but you're not. You can't. It's just I've never seen it in all my years watching the NBA. A team go for the lottery to winning the NBA championship. I just don't see it. Like I just can't see it. I think that the Oklahoma City Thunder, they will be healthy at the best time possible for them to be healthy in April. They've been the walking IR, and that's why SGA has been the MVP and the leader for the MVP candidate, because they've been the walking IR this whole year. They had at one point of the season where they had 8 players on the court, and one of them, their last name was Christmas. Like they have been the walking IR all year, but their players are getting healthy at the right time. SGA has been banged up, but he's looked great the last week. He's playing at top form right now. Chet has been one of the best defensive players in the NBA. I think J-Dub has just been biding his time, and he's taken off a lot of games, not just because he's hurt, but because he wants to be ready for the playoffs. This is what every championship team does. They turn a flip on and off switch until you get to the playoffs. If you're the reigning champion, that's the best way to do it. And I think that the Oklahoma City Thunder will be ready at that time. They are still the best team in the NBA. And I just think that the Spurs, and also to a lesser extent, the Pistons, they're 1 year away. I think, like, if you told me that's your prediction for the 2027 NBA Finals, I'm right there with you. But 2026, I think that it looks like it's going to be the last 2 NBA champions in the finals this year. Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum coming back, and he's looked at like 75, 80%, but that is the perfect amount of percentage for him to be with the way Boston Celtics have been playing in the East. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder, their players are coming back at the right time with a month left to the season. They're going to be ready. They are still the favorites to win the NBA championship.
There's one team that comes to mind. This might be the only team that was in the lottery and I think made the championship the next year, and that was the Cavs. And that's when they got LeBron back and they traded the number 1 pick for Kayla.
That doesn't count. Like it
fits the criteria. It fits the criteria. It might not be the cleanest, but it fits the criteria.
They got LeBron back. They traded their draft pick for LeBron.
Hey, it counts, damn it. They were fucking picking number 1, and then they went to the. That's how bad they were, and they ended up becoming fucking NBA Finals ready. So hey, it fits the criteria.
The biggest asterisk to what you said, Uncle, is they've been the walking IR and the reigning champions. A team did that last year. The Boston Celtics had a lot of injuries throughout the regular season, and then they tried to get healthy at the right time, and they ran into Jalen Brunson, and they did not win that playoff series. So I'm not saying that what you're saying is incorrect, but I've noticed a lot recently with how injury infested the NBA has been, that not having your healthy team towards the end of the season is going to cause just a little bit of issues in the playoffs. I think that J-Dub, I was a very big fan of J-Dub coming into the season, but when he first came back from that wrist injury, he did not look as good as he was last year. And I think that is a very big key component to the Thunder, because SGA is an amazing basketball player. Can he get it done by himself? I think he can, but it made it a lot easier for him last season that J-Dub will have his 1 or 2 games a series where he has 25 to 30 points and plays well. Because I am not a big fan of Chet Holmgren's second option basketball. I think he's an elite defender. I don't think he's there yet offensively. I think he's still growing offensively. I don't think he could be that second guy for them. And that's why J-Dub is so important to them. And I don't think that if J-Dub isn't healthy coming into this playoffs, I don't see how they can beat a team that has the pieces to guard SGA enough just to make it difficult to him. Now, if J-Dub comes back and is playing like J-Dub last year finals run, I'm going to bite my words, because the Thunder are definitely going to go back to back. But I think that's the big cloud that's hanging over them right now. Like, is J-Dub going to come back and be J-Dub?
And like I said, stuff that we haven't seen, I think that's another reason why everybody's trying to pick somebody. Like you said, you at the beginning of the season was like the Nuggets. I said in the last podcast we did, I was like, I don't understand how people are still saying the Nuggets are going to win because they haven't looked good at all. But I really feel like it's the fact that in this decade, since 2019, we haven't seen, or 2020, 2018, we haven't seen anybody go back to back. And I think that's why everybody's looking for that other team that's going to beat the Thunder and make sure that that doesn't happen again. But we got one last thing to do on this show, and y'all know the deal with Tru Heel Heat Check. This is where we give you our top 10s of the week. And this week, we did on the last podcast, we did top 10 point guards, top 10 two guards. We're going to switch it up this week. We're going to do just top 10 forwards. So the top 10 small forwards, power forwards in the NBA today. We're going to do it as we usually do. I'll give my 10. We got Chris will give his number 10. Taj will give his number 10, so on and so forth. I'll start things off for our top 10 forwards list with number 10 for me. Similar to what I did with the point guards and the two guards, I went with the best rookie, and I'm going with Cooper Flag at number 10. I think that he is already a top 10 forward in the NBA just because of how good he's looked in the regular season. No, he's not on the best team at all, but a guy that's coming into the league averaging 20 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists on 47% from the field. He can get his 3-point shot better, but he looks like a great defender. Like he's going to be an all defensive player when he gets into his prime. So I'm going to already say Cooper Flag, top 10 forward in the league. Chris, what's your number 10?
All right, because I'm a dumbass, I actually did a top 10 small forwards and top 10 power forwards, but I'm going to consolidate it.
Yeah, consolidate. Put it all together.
We're going to consolidate. We're going to consolidate. Number 10, I'm going to go with Michael Porter Jr. Now he's on a terrible team, granted, but he proved something that I've known since college. I just figured that he always needed the opportunity, but he's an automatic bucket. The guy can shoot the lights out. You just got to be healthy, and he just needs the green light. And he's proved that defensively he can get better. He can be a little bit more active as a rebounder, but we've seen him adapt and be that kind of in Denver when he needed to be. So I don't doubt the ability is there. I think it's just the situation that he's in now. So I'm going to put MPJ 10.
Dodge.
Definitely like your guys number 10. You guys can say this is a biased 10. My 10th best forward in the NBA is OG Anunoby. I think that he's efficiency wise having one of his best seasons of his career. He's shooting 48% from the field, 37% from 3. But I just think that when I look at forwards, I really look at two-way ability, and what he is able to do at his peak on the defensive end, while also being able to give you 3-4 threes at a decent clip and still score on the other side of the basketball. I just think that's something that can't be replicated. I think that the case of MPJ is a way better scorer than OG, and I've actually been so happy for MPJ to actually get a chance to be a number one option, because growing up, like, he was one of the best players I've ever seen in high school. Like, him in high school was ridiculous, the shots he was making over people. But I just really can appreciate the two-way capability of OG Anunoby. In the playoffs, he's stopping other teams' best players while also being able to give 15 to 20 points a game. So I just wanted to give him his flowers here. So I have him at number 10.
Start us off with your number 9, Taj.
My number 9, this was a tough one for me because I wanted to put this guy higher, but he hasn't really proven to play winning basketball. My number 9 is Denny Avdija. I think that he gives off like a Luka, Jalen Johnson kind of vibe, but it also sometimes comes with being like a black hole in the offensive end where he just starts chucking. And, it's like that doesn't lead to winning basketball all the time, but he's been a revelation for the Trailblazers. He's sometimes flirting with triple doubles. He's a great rebounder. He's improved as a playmaker. I like him. I actually like watching him play basketball, except for the times where he starts shooting really bad shots consistently. But I think that he's one of the best forwards in the game, and he's young, so he's only can get better and improve his 3-point shot. I think that's really like the big thing that he's missing right now. He can shoot it, but it needs to be more consistent. But I'm gonna have him at my 9 spot.
What about you, Chris? Number 9.
That's a good pick. I actually had him at he's like my honorable mention for this list because I definitely got him as one of the best like small forwards right now, but he falls out for me. Right at 9, I got Scotty Barnes. He's just I feel like he's an underrated player. Like he doesn't score more because he has guys that can score on the team too. Like he's a very selfless player, but he hustles, he plays defense. For a guy who is dumb as shit sometimes, he has a very high basketball IQ. Like he is Rain Man because he knows what to do, where to be on the court. He's just a good player and he's going to continue to get better because he's only 23, 24 years old. So I like Scotty, got him in that 9 spot.
And I gotta agree with you. I got Scotty Barnes at number 9 as well because of what he's been able to bring to the Raptors and making the Raptors like a certified threat in the Eastern Conference this year. He's averaging 19 points on 50% from the field. He's averaging 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He gives that all-around game, and he's been good on defense as well. He's averaging over a steal a game, block and a half. So he's been contributed on both sides of the ball, but like you said, his IQ is very, very good. Like he has been the smartest player on the Raptors team that has someone like a Brandon Ingram, who's a Laker legend, but not the smartest player. So I had to give Scotty Barnes some credit for that. Then I will go with number 8 for me. I went with what Taj mentioned earlier, Denny Avia. Denny Avia, I got at number 8 because All-Star this year, but he's just a plain scorer. He's a bucket whenever he's out on that court, and that was the main reason why I said that Portland was going to be a play-in team. They're still like in and out and look like they're going to make the play in at number 10, but he's been that kind of difference maker for that team. I know they're not playing like winning basketball, but the guy's averaging, putting up numbers. Like he's averaging 24 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 46% from the field, 34% from 3. So he's been a great scorer, a great all-around player. So I'm going to give him some love at number 8 for me. Chris, you're up.
Oh, at number 8, I got my boy OG Anunoby. Just pure heart hustle. He does all the little things on the court, the intangibles that you can't teach. It's just basketball instincts, pure basketball instincts with OG. His offensive game got better. He's more consistent. He does a little bit of everything. He can rebound. He play makes. He can shoot. When he's hot from 3, he has really good games. And he's going to guard your best player every night. I mean, there's no quitting him, and he's going to make it tough on your best player. So I'm always going to have love for OG, and I got him in that 8 spot.
Dodge.
I'm a little higher on Scotty Barnes than you guys. I have Scotty Barnes in my 8 spot. I just think that I'm a very, very, very big Scotty Barnes fan from as soon as he got into the league, like even in college. I think that he's playing his role to perfection. I think that eventually in his career, he'll be a 20-point, like 22, 23 point per game scorer, but like you said, his defense this year has been very good, and his IQ, like for him to average 5 assists on a team that has RJ Barrett, ball dominant, Brandon Ingram, ball dominant, and Quickly, who's also been having a decent year and also being a playmaker, it just goes a testament to how good he is with the ball in his hands. I've actually watched a couple Raptors games because they have been better this year. So, the games they have playing are more competitive. They run some like pick and roll with him, like initiating the offense with him at the ball. So I just find like I said, 2-way ability. Like he's great on the defensive end and he's consistently getting better on the offensive end. I'm very, very high on Scotty, and I just have him over the other 2 guys because he's also a little bit younger than them. So there's still a lot more room for improvement. So I'm saying if this is him now, I can't even imagine how great he's going to be in 5-6 years. So I got Scotty in my 8 spot.
All right. So then I will start off with number 7. Number 7 for me, I went with the reigning defensive player of the year, Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley averaging like 18 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks per game, 52% from the field. Yes, he's having a down year in comparison to his defensive player of the year, but I think that he's been playing really well since they got James Harden. And I think that his floor has risen. Like he can have probably his best season yet if you still have he's still playing with a Donovan Mitchell and a James Harden. I think he's going to get better. He's gotten better kind of offensively with finding the right guys. He's averaging a career high in assists, almost 4 assists per game. I think he's only going to get better. This is just a down year, but he's been playing even better with James Harden on the court. So I still had to give him some love. He's one of the best defensive players in the league still to this day, this season. So Evan Mobley, I got a number 7. Taj?
This was a little tough for me because I definitely do have Evan Mobley in my top 10. But I do want to give love to a player that I think is a very good basketball player that is kind of going under the radar because of how bad his team is this year. So I'm going to put Pascal Siakam here. I think Pascal is one of the best forwards in the NBA. He just gets overshadowed a lot because the forward position is very good in the NBA. But Pascal this season, even though it's not in a winning season because, losing a player of Tyrese Halliburton caliber can do a lot. And they've really been another team that's been dealing with a lot of injuries, but he's averaging 24 points, 6.7 rebounds, 4 assists on 48% shooting. Like that's an all-star season, like for a lot of NBA basketball players. And if they were winning more games, everybody would be talking about him a lot more. But since they're at the bottom of the NBA, 24, he's 6.7 to me. I round up 7 rebounds a game, 4 assists. That's a great season. That's fringe all NBA if your team is a top 3, top 4 team in your conference, so I just want to make sure to give him his flowers. Even in a down year for the Pacers, he's still one of the most talented forwards in the game, and that run that the Pacers went on last year doesn't happen without Pascal playing at the top of his peak. So I want to make sure to give him some flowers. So he's at my 7th spot for me.
All I will say is that I don't downgrade people like we did on our guards list when we talked about Steph Curry, Chris. I will spoil alert. I got Pascal in my top 5. Pascal is one of the best forwards in the NBA. He gonna get more flowers. Chris D, who you got at 7?
I also got him at 7, and he would be higher if the team won a little bit more. You got to put that in account. Some of these guys could lead their teams to a better position and be just as talented. So, and there's nothing against like Spicy P's leadership or his ability or anything. It's literally just the cast that they got around him. It just it needs to be upgraded. And they're missing their best player, so that's always got something to do with it. But the guy's having a great season. Always gonna play hard. He could do a little bit of everything and consistent. I mean, I've been a fan of his since the Toronto days, so we'll go with Spicy P at number 7.
All right, who you got at number 6, Chris?
Number 6, I have Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year, reigning Defensive Player of the Year. A down year for him is still better than half the seasons for half the forwards in the league. He's still a force on defense, and he has been playing a lot better of late. I don't necessarily think it's a down year. I feel like he's just using another aspect, like he's improved another aspect of his game while the rest of his game has just kind of stood still, The scoring hasn't really necessarily gotten better, but he's been better as a playmaker. He looks like he's spreading the floor a little bit more. So I think there's another guy who's 24, 25 years old. Like he has unlimited potential and he's only going to get better. So I'm not worried about Evan Mobley at all. Next year, he should, if he takes that leap, he'll be a 20-10 guy.
Who you got at number 6, Dodge?
Question: do you guys have Jaylen Brown as a forward or a guard?
We had
him as guard.
We had him as a guard.
All right,
you can include him in the forwards if you want.
No.
He's fringe,
That's good for me.
If
I put him in this forwards list, Evan Mobley wouldn't be on my list because I have 6 people on my list that I was writing down before that. So we'll leave him as guard so Evan Mobley can fit on my list because I do think he's up there. We'll put Evan Mobley at my 6th spot. I'm also another big fan of Evan Mobley. I do agree he took a slight dip this year, and I'm kind of waiting for the leap because I don't want him to become one of those guys that's just like a consistently 18-9 guy and we just keep waiting for the leap. But you can't also not respect what he does on the defensive end. Like he's an elite defender, and you can't make that up. If he doesn't Like him and Chet are like in the same realm for me. Like if Chet doesn't ever get better offensively, if Evan Mobley ever doesn't get better offensively, what he brings on the defensive end still keeps them as a top tier player in the NBA. Like can't get that from a lot of other players. But he has definitely improved his 3-point shot. That's one thing I will say. You know, they actually are picking and popping with him, and the jump shot looks nice. So if he can improve that and like Chris said, get to a 20 and 10 type of guy, he's going to be fringe top 5 for me every single season just because of what he does on the other side of basketball.
So this might be a hot take, but number 6, and I almost had this guy in the top 5, honestly, when it comes to forwards, just for this year alone, it's Jalen Johnson from the Atlanta Hawks.
Not a hot take. He hit my top 5.
Dude has been amazing this year. 23 points per game, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. 50% from the field. He's averaging 35% from 3. He's just played ridiculous. And the biggest stamp of approval from him came from the Atlanta Hawks. I don't think anyone at the beginning of the season saw the Atlanta Hawks trading Trae Young. Trae Young was considered the face of the franchise, but because Jalen Johnson took this big leap, that's why he's at that level. So I had to give him some love. And like I said, I was very close. It was a toss-up between Jalen Johnson and my number 5. That's where I got Pascal Siakam. Pascal Siakam, he gets the cred because he's been here a little bit longer. He's been doing his thing. And yeah, like you said before, Taj, like 24 points per game, 7 rebounds, nearly 4 assists, 48% from the field. He could be like leading them to win more games, but I can't knock, you lost your best player in last year's NBA finals. You've been injury riddled the whole entire season, but he's an all-star type player. He's like one of the best power forwards in the NBA. So Pascal Siakam has to be in my top 5. Chris, we'll go to you for number 5.
I got Jalen Johnson in this 5th spot. Mr. Triple Dub himself. The kid, he could bowl. And I got him higher than Spicy Peas simply because, like, if you look at the Hawks team, they're young. They're not that great. Like, they don't have any, like, besides Dyson Daniels, like, it's like, it doesn't look like a loaded team, right? But they're fringe playing. And it's because Jalen Johnson just raises the floors of everybody around him because he's just a good player. And, yeah, it's just a testament to see, how much he's growing and how much better he can be. And I think he's going to be one of the best forwards in the league, for years to come.
So you got at number 5, Todd.
I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me because he's been pretty bad the first half of the season. But my 5th spot, Paolo Banchero. I think that he's starting to come back to what I thought he would be to start the season. The second half of the season, he's been playing a lot better. I think I don't want to give misinformation, but I think like over the last 5 games, he's averaging like 28 a game, like 10 rebounds. His efficiency numbers are better and stuff like that. I think the problem with Paulo is like he's trying to copy the mold of all the other forwards now, step back threes, tough, difficult jump shots. When he just decides to go to the rim and go put people in the rim, he's unstoppable. Like he's 6'10", 250, whatever his weight is. He can't be guarded. And I thought I was so high on Pablo coming into the season after what I saw him do to the Celtics in the playoffs last year. Like that was some of the best individual performances I've seen from a young guard or a young forward in the playoffs. And I think that he has so much talent. I just think he settles a lot and it bothers me a lot because he's really unstoppable getting to the basket. But I can't knock the fact that he's just, in my eyes, just talent-wise, he's one of the best forwards in the league. And he's also improved as a playmaker this year. He's a good rebounder. He's not the best defender, but he's not a cone, But just on the offensive end, I just think he's one of the most talented offensive players in the league. And whenever he just decides, like, all right, I'm just going to go to the basket until you guys stop me, and then I'll use my jump shot, I think he could be a 27, 28 point per game scorer in the NBA. But I'm very high on him.
All right, who you got at number 4?
Number 4 is where I have Jalen Johnson. I think Jalen Johnson is going to be an All-NBA player very, very soon. I'm very high on the fact that, like you say, Mr. Triple-Double, that his playmaking leap that he's taking this year is something that I did not have in my cards. He showed little flashes of it last year. I think he had like a couple, maybe like 3 or 4 triple-doubles, but like there was like a month consistently where if he didn't get it, he had 8 and 8 or 11 and 9. Like he's right there every time. And that opens up the floor so much for a fast-paced team like the Hawks because 9 times out of 10, he's the one snagging the rebound down. Now he doesn't have to look for the point guard. He could push it up. Now we're running the floor. And Gilgeous-Alexander has been great this year. Unethical is a great floor spacing big man. You know, he's undersized, but if he can shoot the ball, you live with that, you know? So he's made everybody around him so much better. And this is another thing where he's young. Like, if this is him right now, I can't imagine him even, let's not even go as far as 5 years. In the next 2 years, he could be averaging 25, 11, and 6 or 7. And now you're looking at a guy that's going to be all NBA every single year, you know? So I just am very high on him. I do think he took a little step back on defense with his usage rate on offense, but that just comes with the program. If you're getting the ball on offense every single play, it's difficult to be an elite defender every single trip on the other side. So, but I'm very high on Jalen Johnson. To me, he's the 4th best forward in the NBA.
I got at number 4, Paolo Banchero. I do think that this second half has like really kind of got me back where I was at the beginning of the season. Like me and Taj went to the Knicks game against the Orlando Magic, and I was like really disappointed with how Paolo was playing, like the first half of the season and in that game specifically. But when you look at his numbers, you look at his effect when you watch the games, he is so much better when he's aggressive, when he puts the ball on the floor, he attacks the rim, he's got a good mid-range game as well. He's averaging 22 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, 5 assists on 46% from the field. His 3-point shot is getting a little bit better. He still needs to work on that. There's still parts of his games that are still coming together, but he's only 23 years old, and I still think that we haven't seen him at his peak, at all his powers, putting it all together yet. But as already, he's a top 5 forward in the league for me. So I got him at number 4. Chris G, who you got at number 4?
Yeah, I think we're all unanimous, right? Paolo Banchero. This second half of the season, he's really stepped it up. Once he figures out how dominant he actually is when he just goes down the lane.
Yeah.
Because he's a big dude, but he can handle like a guard. He's shifty for somebody his size, super athletic. He can score in a multiple of ways when he's going to the lane. His jump shot will come, but he can't force it. And, you know, that's just it's apparent now in the second half of the season. It also helps when he has Franz on the court, because Franz will take the majority of the jump shots, which kind of lets Paolo do his thing in the paint and in the mid-range. So I think, you know, with Franz out, he's kind of trying to do it a little bit too much. But once he scales back a little bit, simplifies his game, it's just going to go up from there. So I think he's well on his way. He has the mindset for it. It's just a matter of, you know, just growing.
So I have a feeling we're going to have similar top 3s. It just depends on how we're all going to plan it out here. But Chris, start us off. Who's your number 3?
As much as I hate to put this man in any top 10 list, unless it was top 10 Twitter trolls, it is going to be Kevin Durant.
I also have KD at number 3. So
I do as well.
It's KD. Well. He's having a great year. It's just, you know, we just can't like the guy too much.
But he's had a great effect on the Houston Rockets.
Yes,
like he was exactly what they needed. They needed a veteran leader. They needed a guy who could put the ball in the hoop. And at 37 years old, he's still putting up monster numbers: 26 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists on 51% from the field, 40% from 3. Like, he has been playing out of his mind. He's the only reason why they have kept their heads above water in the Western Conference. And God knows what's going to happen in the next month in the Western Conference. They could be there. I think they're in 4th right now. They can wind up in like 7, 8 spot because of how the Clippers are playing right now. But like, they have been great this year, and it's really been about Kevin Durant being the leader for them. So got to put him in the top 3. Taj?
Yeah. He's 100% in my 3rd spot. I mean, Kevin Durant's efficiency for his entire career with the difficulty of the shots that he's taking is just like this. Every time I see it, like I'm just mesmerized. Like, for him to be 7 foot and be able to score that well, shoot that well with 2-3 hands in his face consistently is just amazing to watch. What's something that I'm very happy that he's been able to do is build the confidence of the younger guys on the Rockets. Like Reed Shepherd, the second half of the season has been amazing because Kevin Durant's trusting him with the basketball. Jabari Smith, you know, he has potential to be a really good basketball player, but he just needs that confidence instilled in him. And when you have a player of KD's caliber giving you the ball, trusting you with the basketball, that's always going to boost your confidence. But like my uncle said, 26 points on 50-40. What is he, like 88 from the free throw line? That's 50-40-90 in my eyes. Like, to be able to do that at 37, it's just, you can't disrespect greatness. No matter how old he's getting, that's just still amazing.
And no matter what he does on Twitter, he's finally tweeted again since All-Star Weekend. So gotta give him God. But number 2 for me, and this is only because he's missed half of the season, it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis, I got at number 2, 27.5 points per game, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 63% from the field. Like, he was just unstoppable the first half of this season. I think that if he would have been kept playing or didn't get hurt or didn't go through all this drama and nonsense, the days of our lives in Milwaukee, I think that he would definitely be number 1 on everyone's list. But for what he's been able to contribute so far in the season, and I don't think he's going to come back for the rest of the season, but you still have to put him in the top 3. So I got him at number 2. Dodge.
I do have Kawhi at my number 2. I do. If we're going off of strictly this season and health wise, Kawhi is definitely number 1. But to me, I just don't think anybody's going to overtake Giannis for the best forward in the game. Just when he's on the court, he's dominant, and he's been dominant for years, and he's going to continue to be dominant until he retires or just decides he doesn't want to play basketball. He's just like, you have to change your entire game plan when you see Giannis on your schedule, because if you let him go get 50, he will go get 50, and it will be demoralizing to your team because 3 players are going to be on SportsCenter getting dunked on. Somebody else is going to get overpowered. It's like, as a person that's played basketball for a long time, like, those dunks when your teammate gets dunked on, like, it drains the energy out your team. Like, you're looking around like, damn, like, and then people on the bench is overreacting, even though you're not supposed to be reacting. Like, it does a lot. But it's another guy that I've also, like, been very pleased with seeing how much better of a playmaker he's become. I think that was something that he learned. Like, teams are going to put 3-4 people on me because they can't stop me. So I have to make the right play. And he's been willing to do that. And I think that that's why Damian Lillard was willing to go to the Bucks. You know, that's why I think players want to play with Giannis, because yes, he's dominant. Yes, he's one of the best players in the NBA, but they know that if 3 people are going to guard him, which is going to happen, he'll trust his teammates. And if he's willing to do it with this bad Bucks roster, if he gets a better roster, he'll still do the same thing. So I think that's why I'm going to have Giannis at number 1, but Kawhi has been amazing this year. And it sucks that I feel like we've been robbed so much of his prime with his injuries, because this is the way he's playing this season is something he's could do every single year if he's healthy. Like, it's like I'm seeing so many people give Kawhi his flowers, and it's like, did you not see Kawhi on the Raptors? Did you not see Kawhi when he's healthy? Like, even early years on the Clippers, when he was healthy, Kawhi was ridiculous. Like, he's always going to be an amazing player, and in my eyes, a top 3 two-way player of all time, because he's still giving elite defense even at this age and all the injuries that he's been had to endure. But what he's been doing on offense, like, I'm just sitting there like, even me, sometimes I forget, like, wow, Kawhi is really, like, elite on the offensive end. Like, his 30-point games, I think he's shooting like 90% from the free throw line. His 3 ball is looking amazing. Like, it's just mesmerizing. It's like it's him, similar to him with SGA. Like, every time Kawhi touches the ball, I think the ball is going in the basket. And I'm just happy that he's been able to be healthy this year. Like, NBA fans love seeing Kawhi at his best. That's all we've ever asked for, him not to be hurt. And now that he's giving it to us, I have to give him his flowers.
You know, I invited you on here, so I hate to do this, but that is preposterous. Kawhi Leonard is the best forward in the NBA. I don't care about, Giannis, yeah, he's great, he's unstoppable. That is all fine and dandy. We cannot say that Kawhi Leonard isn't the best forward in the NBA this year. He has been amazing. 28 points per game, 28 points per game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 50% from the field, 38%. You rounded off with 88%. He's averaging 50, 40, 90 basically,
Yeah,
because he's
definitely.
38% from three, 90% from the free throw line. He's still one of the best defenders in all of the NBA. He's averaging 2 steals per game. But most of all, what he's done with the Los Angeles Clippers. We have never seen this in NBA history. A team start 10 games below 500 and be at 500 by March. Never seen that before. They are gonna be probably the 7th seed in the Western Conference, and that's probably an even bigger threat than the Oklahoma City Thunder. To your prediction of the San Antonio Spurs, is the San Antonio Spurs having to play this Clippers team with Kawhi playing this year? Chris G, I want to know your 2 and your 1, but I'm warning you, I'm about to tell you off if you don't put Kawhi Leonard at number 1.
Number 2 for me is Giannis Antetokounmpo, and it's because
I didn't know if I had another rant like that. Thank you.
No, it's because I'm saving you the energy. I mean, he hasn't played the whole season, right? But when he's on the court, he's by far the most dominant player in the NBA. Yeah. When Paolo realizes he's a baby Giannis, he's going to be really good, because this is basically Giannis is the game plan for Paolo. You dominate through sheer strength and will, and then if you need to shoot and hit a couple jump shots, which Giannis can knock down some mid ranges. He's not the greatest 3-point shooter, but if you leave him open, he'll hit 1 or 2. It opens up the game. He's a very selfless player. He hustles nonstop, grabs rebounds. He's gonna defend your best wing. You know, like he'll defend your big man if he has to. Like Giannis is really great for the game, and I'm a big Greek freak fan, and I'm sad that he'll never get traded to the Knicks, but it's okay. It's okay. But you have to put Kawhi at number 1. What he's been able to do with that Clippers team. I mean, we were talking about Clippers being in the shitter, like really being in the shitter. They were getting number 1 picks, and everything's going to the Thunder.
We can show Taj our preseason tier ranking where we did put the Clippers in the shitter.
Yeah. And they were originally shit but fun, but now they're in the shitter, and we could actually take them out of there, because now they're actually a decent team. And that's with trading some of their best pieces, right? They traded James Harden, they traded Zubac, and they're still competitive, and that shows the leadership of Kawhi Leonard and just how he's been playing. I mean, 40-point games, 40 and 10, defending the best player, hitting game-winning shots, being clutch in the fourth quarter, just doing it smooth. Just everything he's been doing this season has been so smooth, and I'm happy to see him healthy, and I hope he continues to be healthy. And I can't remember the last time a guy that has dealt with so many injuries, come back at his age and still be able to put on elite performances like this. I mean, because we're talking about like serious knee injuries and wrist issues and shoulder issues. I mean, Kawhi's kind of been through the ringer, so especially with those knees. So, it's good to see him back on top of his game.
Absolutely.
Disclaimer: Kawhi is definitely the best forward this year. I was just saying in general. Well, Giannis is number 1 for me. Like you said, if Giannis is healthy the whole season, he's number 1. But for this season, Kawhi is 1,000% the best forward in the NBA. It's not even close.
I just need at least 1 rant per episode, so I appreciate you for doing that, for ranking that.
I haven't talked about the Knicks. I haven't talked about the Knicks a lot this episode, so we haven't gotten it out of him.
I'll be the sacrifice. That's okay.
But no, we appreciate you for joining us this week. We want you to come back for sure, because we had a lot of fun.
Most definitely will.
Getting your perspective, getting your list of the top 10 forwards in the NBA. We will have this up as a couple of shorts on the channel as well. But we want to give you the floor, Taj, as we wrap things up. Let the people know where they can follow you on social media, where they can see all your great content over at Twitch. The floor is yours.
So my Instagram, my regular personal Instagram is IamTC1. That's my personal Instagram that I've been using for years. My content pages, both of them are called TC1 Clips. I have on TikTok and Instagram. Find my clips in my page, kind of get like an intro to my page. And like I said earlier, my Twitch is Automatic TC on Twitch. My VODs after my streams get posted there. So if you want to just watch any of them by yourself before you come to a stream, just to see if you like the content I'm putting on, they're all up there. I am definitely working on getting a YouTube page to also post my VODs up there too. So I'm currently working on that. But I had a lot of fun today, you know, on the podcast. I appreciate my uncle for bringing me on here. Chris, it was very nice to meet you. I appreciate it. And it's been really fun. I'm definitely will be back again way before the playoffs to talk some more basketball with you guys.
There we go. And your cousin.
The running, the weekly running.
Say hi. You didn't say hi? Oh, there you go.
Our
She said hi
episodic running. I love it. I was waiting for it.
Chris, let the people know where they can follow you, good sir.
Yes, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at THCG, Twitter at Tru Heel Chris G, right here on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment channel, talking basketball and clipping some stuff, putting those shorts up, and also on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel as well.
And you can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. Best place to support us when we're not live here on the wrestling channel. Go and check out the Revolution preview. Go and check out Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. But we will be back with more Tru Heel Heat Check, where we got to give you our top 10 centers or for our completion of the rankings of the every position in the NBA for the season. But for Taj, our special guest, for Chris G, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat Check number 26, Bam's 83. We are signing off until